Welcome to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we are stripping away insecurities and judgments to reach in for the essence of who we are, Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. I'm Simona Spark, a best-selling author, international speaker, transformational coach, and so many other things. Beyond anything else, I'm a woman who stopped following other people's rules and started creating my own. I am so excited to invite as a co-host someone whom I'm not only fell in love with and admire, but also I'm inspired and fascinated by him, his stories, and the way he sees the world. My significant other, Tim. Welcome, babe.
Thank you, Simona. I'm excited and a little nervous to be invited into the Bear space. I'm so inspired by you, the first person I've ever dated whose biography I can read. You've become my lover and my muse, and I'm looking forward to exploring what we have together. So a little bit about me. I'm an explorer of life, a yoga teacher and musician with a side gig saving the world. That's me.
Wonderful. In this season, we want to talk about taboo topics through the lens of two people dating, redefining romance while living on opposite sides of the world.
We decided to do so as we go, so we can capture the raw moments in the present and share them with you.
Please join the conversation by leaving your comments, insights, and questions in the comment box or DM us on Instagram at Bear Lifestyle Show. Thanks for listening. We have no topic.
Let's see what comes up.
The topic is no topic. So cheers.
Right. Here's to it.
What are you drinking?
Usual decaffeinated tea this time of the day.
I go wild today. I have passion fruit.
Oh, nice.
So where are you at today? Besides the fact packing and about to take off to the airport, what are you in the mood talking about?
I don't know really. I'm very open. Kind of.
Yeah.
I just did my yoga practice, and haven't meditated yet. I'll do that after this. And then I'm off to see my daughter. So that's been over a year since I saw her. So
so exciting. Yeah. How we managed to live far, far away from our children, sometimes across the world, sometimes across the country. Sorry, God, last week when I went to New York to see Andre, when I get back, it felt like I traveled all the way from Asia.
Yeah.
For some reason, just flying across the country sometimes is just way more difficult than flying across the world. All those little flights and airports and rides and other rides.
Yeah. The in-between bits that are the tricky bits. Once you're on the plane, just sitting there, it's not so bad. You just enter a different time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about travels.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're both fairly well traveled. It's been my privilege to have been paid to go to places that I've dreamed about going, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, you're way ahead of me when it comes to traveling, because you didn't just travel to see the place, you live there.
Yeah.
Many places.
Yeah. I've lived and worked in a lot of places. I think I'm about ready after this to stop doing that. Yeah. I think my traveling days are done.
Well, that's not exciting for me. Don't say that.
You can do the traveling and just tell me how good it is. I'll just watch Nat Geo.
Watch what?
I'll just watch National Geographic Channel.
Yeah, don't say you're done with traveling because that's a deal breaker right there.
Sorry.
You here publicly.
Yeah,
Are we breaking up?
I don't know yet. Travels. I mean, I've just done so much of it. I've seen enough of the world. I think I've seen enough of it. It's pretty good. It's a great place. I want to settle in a place where I have everything I need around me, and then live out a contented life. Yeah, I'm curious to see a few places that I haven't been to that no one's ever paid me to go. Um,
So what are you saying? You only go if you pay to go?
yeah, that's the way to travel. To get people to pay you to go to places.
Oh, I'm finding new
Um,
things. Hold on. Let me get my stuff situated. Go on.
uh, yeah, well, I mean, I've been paid to go to places that I hadn't thought about going to.
Hmm.
Um, but then I'm fortunate enough to do a job that allows for that. But there are a few countries I haven't been to that I don't think anyone's ever going to pay me to go to. Um, India is one of them. I've never been to India. There's not much work for. I mean, it's a good thing that there's not much aid and development work in India because it's now kind of middle income country, but and also it has its own people that know how to sort themselves out. But that's a country I'd love to go to. It's just for yeah, it's an incredible place. I have a really good friend who is going to take me to India to meet all her family. That'd be really fun. And then Japan is another place.
That's on
No
top
one's
of
going to pay.
this.
Yeah, and Canada. I've never been to Canada, and I'd love to go and see the wilds and see bears and things like that in the wild country. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the three places I need to go and see.
Well, you make it sound like you saw the rest of the world or you don't care about the rest of the world. Which one is it?
I've seen
Or you
it.
just done traveling?
No, I've seen it. I've seen enough.
Hmm.
Yeah, Uh, yeah.
Well, I'm a little bit speechless here because it's not what I envisioned for our future.
Hmm. But it's best. I mean, I would live in a place that is exciting and has everything that travel brings.
But it's not just the travel though, because like that's how most people stop themselves from going places because they're fearing traveling or they're not feeling confident with the logistics of traveling, right? So what I'm hearing
Maybe,
from you is like you experience enough cultures and places and you learn about the world, and which is
yeah.
totally different than I'm done traveling. Like,
It's a bit of both. I mean, I think people that don't travel, yeah, fall into two categories: fear and contentment.
mm,
So where I grew up in the UK, which is like 50 miles out of London, so it's not exactly in the middle of nowhere. There was a chap in my village who had never even left the parish. I mean, a parish is like smaller than a district, right? We're talking a very small area, and he's just like just totally content. It's like why would I ever want to leave?
mm,
And I remember as a teenager thinking, wow, it'd be amazing to have that kind of contentment, not even to want to know what's over the hill, because I wasn't given to be that content. um, and then there's those that fear travel, I think, because it just might, yeah, there's the logistics and all of that, which I am very tired of. And then, yeah, there's
there's the fear of the other, isn't there? Fear of and how
new.
that might.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's coming down to curiosity, and for most people that I know, they don't allow themselves to travel. The main reason is this fear of new. Am I going to get lost? How I'm going to figure out things, or, I mean, especially if you don't speak English, because most places people speak English, but I'll say most things I learned about myself was through traveling.
Yeah.
Because like you put yourself into a space, it's very vulnerable to be in a space in a different culture, to don't understand what they're talking, to not to don't like what they're eating and so on and so on. So it's like, it's stretching some limitations, like, oh, can I grow myself into this, or am I even willing to try, or
Yeah.
I mean, especially last trip I took through Asia, just when I'm thinking food, like, no, Asian food is not bottom of my list, really. So was a stretch. It really was. Plus, being vegetarian, and most people offer me chicken when I say that I'm vegetarian.
Yeah, that can be tricky.
But now you form this, like I have this, like, I have terrible experience in Thailand. And I'm like, I don't like that. I want to go back to Thailand and have a good experience. I don't want to have a bad experience about Thailand, but I did so far. So I want to go back just to collect the good one,
Right. Yeah.
So it's traveling to just go see places or have a vacation, and it's different than traveling that you did. You actually work there, you live there.
Yeah.
That's not traveling, that's living.
Well, it's working. It's working. Yeah.
Living and
Working
working.
Yeah.
You didn't travel to Nepal, you live in Nepal, you work in Nepal. Totally different experience than somebody that's just gonna go explore for a month.
And when I was there, I only traveled for work. But I mean, I made a couple of very small trips, but I did, yeah.
So talk to me about traveling, because that's the part I want to understand.
What about my attitude towards it?
Yes.
Well, I've been doing it so
Traveling. Sorry to interrupt. Traveling, not working, not living.
For fun.
For fun. Like, let's take a week to Japan. Traveling. So go there, travel, and you're coming back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the only way to do Japan is in luxury. So if I'm doing Japan, I'm going to do it well.
Well, but see, you say it's the only way to do it. It's not the only way to do it.
Well, it's an expensive place, so you've got to let go of the idea that you're going to do it on a budget. And also, I think some of the most wonderful experiences there are things you have to pay for, like staying in beautiful onsen hotels. And there's a very beautiful trail called the Pilgrim's Trail, though, which I'd like to do some of, which is I think it's 2,000 kilometers. It goes just all over the mountains from temple to temple. It's pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, happily do a nice long walk for a few days, and then make sure I stay in a really beautiful hotel at either end, and then maybe go and see some of the most amazing things that you can see in Japan, Kyoto, places like that. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not going to do like a kind of sightseeing tour, or yeah,
I don't know. It's not
just
how I travel for sure. Like when everybody goes to see the statue and whatever, I'm walking the other way on the little
excellent.
alleys.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I'm not there for the Instagram picture, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, so that's, yeah, if I'm ever going on a just traveling for leisure, then um I'm going to do it right. But as I say, it's extremely rare.
Hmm. Well, we're gonna circle back to this one because I have
Yeah.
so many questions.
I mean, I do go to Bali once every month.
I mean, you're there.
I go for specific reasons though as well, and I do exactly the same thing when I'm there. I know it sounds kind of strange, someone who's done so much of it to not really do it for fun.
Do what for fun?
Travel for fun. It's not fun for me at all.
Well, you're never gonna come to Los Angeles, that's for sure. If that's what you feel,
But that's not for fun, that's to see you.
and that's not fun, is that work?
It has a purpose. It has a purpose. Like, I can't see you here, so I've got to travel to LA.
Yeah.
So that has there's a task attached to that. Yeah, it's like got to get to LA to see you, and yeah, there are wonderful things there, and I'm kind of curious to see it because we've all grown up in LA. The
Mm.
world has grown up in LA to a certain extent because we've seen it on the movies so much. Um, so yeah, so I'm curious to see it, but that's not my primary reason for going. If you weren't there, I wouldn't go.
Hmm. All right. So that's how I'll get to travel with me. I'll go there and say, hey, I'm here. Come see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lost in this conversation. I'm just I have I have so many judgments.
Oh, well, let's hear them.
Well, because it's not where I remember we talked about a couple months ago about the
Mhm.
future traveling. And I'm also, you know, I live with a man that want to settle when I was ready to explore the world. So now I'm
Mm.
feeling like I'm drawn back into the same scenario that I'm like, no.
Mm.
So I have a lot of judgments around, what traveling is, or I don't know, do we not want the same thing? Yeah, I'm confused.
Mm.
And I will probably not even air this. I'm feeling very like cornered. Am I delusional? Did I miss something?
No, I think we had this discussion though. I remember. I'm sure we talked about travel, and I
Yeah, but
said
it's not.
I'm actually not much of a traveler.
Yeah, no, we talk for sure. We talk.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not what I remember.
Mm.
So
Yeah. And we talked about a scenario where we live on different continents, but we see each other. But I'm not in that scenario traveling. I'm just using transportation. I mean, that's what I would be doing if I come to LA. I'm coming to see you. That's a primary purpose of getting on that transportation. Just like I'm going to Tbilisi today.
It is traveling.
Yes, it is. But it's not traveling in the sense of being a traveler, like, I'm not going to, I mean, I enjoy Tbilisi when I'm there because I know it so well. It's a place I've lived for a long time. And, I know what I'm going to do when I get there. But that's not the purpose of getting on a plane for 28 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I try to say. It's like every time you go to the airport, you talk about the purpose. It's all traveling. It's just different reasons.
Right.
But when you
don't
say
leisure
traveling,
yeah,
that was like very solid statement. Like, I'm done. After this, settling, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And it's recorded, so we could play it back.
It's on the record. Tim is done traveling. During lockdown was a wonderful time for me because I didn't travel for 2 years because we couldn't travel out of Australia at all. The country was completely sealed.
Mm-hmm.
And I read this wonderful quote, and I can't remember who it's by, but I think it's by an American naturalist. He said, one could spend an entire lifetime getting to know a small range of mountains. Once upon a time, people did. And
Once upon a time, people
did. Yeah. I imagine this might resonate with you from your childhood.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And so I during that 2 years, I walked a lot, literally just up one little mountain range just outside my house in Canberra. And I got to know it really well, and yet I feel like I still haven't explored enough of it. And I was walking there every day. And it's partly, I think it's also partly having a meditation practice where you notice what is in your immediate vicinity. You notice yourself and your immediate surroundings, and you can cover anything with your full attention and get so much of a rich experience out of just sitting in an empty room if you want to. If you take that attitude. I mean, and others might say, well, you're incredibly privileged to be able to say this, but I don't feel like in order to satisfy my curiosity, I have to get on a plane and fly somewhere. I can satisfy that curiosity just by having a walk around the garden, and that will keep me diverted for.
Yeah, but I feel like we are talking about two different things, though, because I hear what you're saying, and I agree with that. Like, you don't need to go somewhere to find who you are or to be happy or to whatever, but that's one thing. And another thing is to see freaking Japan. You can't see it in your garden. You have to fly to Japan if you're curious to see it. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, I went to many retreats for the beginning with that idea in mind, that I'm going to go and I'm going to find myself and whatnot, right? and was amazing experience and have breakthroughs and all that. But couple years in, yeah, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to go anywhere to find what I'm looking for, right? That's it's a separate, different reason for traveling, or people travel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna come back like a fully transformed person or whatever. Like, yeah, you could go and log yourself into your own room and come out fully transformed person.
Yeah.
I get that type of traveling inwards.
Yeah.
But I still want to see places in the world. And I would like to do them with my partner as much as possible.
What places do you want to see?
Many. Well, Japan is on my top. It's really top of the list. I never been to India either. So people that know me told me, do not go to Japan. You might want to move there. They know that I'm going to love it so much. And people that know me say, do not go to India. You're going to hate it. So I have those two feedbacks from people that know me and they've been travel there, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine that somebody who doesn't like Indian food is going to get on very well in India.
Yeah, well, I don't like Indian food. God knows what I'm going to be eating, but I like a lot about Indian culture that I want to see it with my own eyes. That's why I want to go. Not for food. Definitely not for food.
Yeah.
But, there's so many places. Like, I never been to Canada either. I never been to London. Scotland, Ireland, all those, like, you only see and hear wonderful things about. And I'm like, yeah, I want to experience it in person. Many, many places. I didn't travel as much as you did, for sure. And also, probably half of my travels were just running away from things or going there for wrong reasons, that we just talked about. But now I'm different. And now when I'm going, I'm there and I'm taking it in and I let it, impact me and enrich my life and find about myself and my limits and my perspectives. So, yeah. Different interest than 10 years ago. 10 years ago was just like, I was hungry for freedom. And freedom means you have a passport that allows you to go in whatever country.
Yeah.
It was a very limited view, but that's what I had back then. And now it's different. Now it's more expensive, like just so many options to choose from, And then it's, how my body deals with it, because just a trip across the country for 3 days got me sick for 3 days.
Yeah.
I was really looking into it, like, what's happening with me in the air, changing time zones. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching this. And I'm curious about the next trip. I don't know when and where that will be, to see how my body behaves. Because I can't ignore that, not to fall into, oh, we are aging and all the things, but it's like,
No.
I remember my GP in New Zealand when I just have all kind of issue. And she says, let's look into your lifestyle. And she said, I'll never forget her. She says, we humans are not meant to be in the air for so many hours so often.
Mm.
Like, oh, okay, let's talk about it.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the only time zone differences we encountered as wild humans were the change of the seasons.
Right. Right. And that has a impact of our well-being.
Oh yeah. That's one of the biggest downsides as why I don't like doing it. I come back from a trip and I'm exhausted, and then I've still, I get to a place, I have to function on my A game, and when I get back, I don't have time to recover, and I'm straight into work again.
Yeah.
And I'm very tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's that, right? To consider, or
Yeah.
or to say, to not ignore.
Yeah.
But I still want to see Japan, and I still want to get to India. So, but
Mm.
knowing what I know is like, I need to carve out more space to recover, to get on a time zone, to readjust my digestive system and all the things that get disturbed. So
Canada's fairly close to you, though.
no, it's
you can
not.
drive there. You can
No,
drive there.
No, I'm not gonna drive across the country, that's for sure. Road trip, not for this girl.
Oh no, that's another thing. I love road trips. Like,
After all the things that we find in common, it's time to open a list with things that we do not match.
yeah, that's travel is one of them, and means of travel, food. Yeah,
It's a long list, actually.
it's a long list already.
Camping, no thank you.
Camping, love it. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do about it?
We'll see whether they're reconcilable or irreconcilable differences.
I mean, in all honesty, never was a time in my life, in any relationship, that I actually laugh at differences. I just realized a minute ago. You know, it's something.
Yeah. Well, that's good then.
I don't know if it's good or bad, or I'm losing my mind. Something is happening. Oh man. Yeah. I think we just gonna
Wrap it up. That's a good place to wrap it. Laughing at differences. Fantastic.
okay.
Maybe that means you're content enough in yourself, and you know yourself well enough that such differences are they're not the deal breakers you thought they were.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know when we talk camping, I'm like, go camp. Just don't force me to go with you. Go, bye.
Yeah, I'll be on my own, or I'll go with friends.
But you know what I mean? Would I will say that 10 years ago? No.
Yeah.
And I think that
It's like what we were talking about last time, or I think it was last time. It's like just because you have a partner doesn't mean you have to, that every waking hour has to be spent with them, and they have to fulfill every single part of you.
no,
I mean,
that's
it's a bonus if they do, but
that's exhausting.
it's a lot to think about. I mean, you see those couples who travel the world together and they're just having this amazing time.
I feel like I could travel the world with you and have an amazing time. I believe that. And I also know that we're not going to be holding hands 24/7. Like, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like we have different interests that, you know, if you care about the other person a little bit, you might just let them do the thing and you go do your thing.
Yeah, that's the best, because then each person is fulfilled, and they bring things back.
Yeah. You want to camp? Go camp.
Yeah.
You are you back.
Yeah.
Just come back happy and not beaten by bears.
Mhm.
Are
Yeah.
we gonna air this?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. You call it a wrap, so wrap it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. That was good.
Thank you for tuning in today. Please follow, rate, and review your favorite episode and share it with your friends.
We'd love to hear from you, what inspired you, what triggered you, and what interested you. We can't wait to have you back.
Till then, be Bear. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving.